And there were times where she would just come to me crying because she didn't feel like she was being heard. She felt like I was being dismissive, and like seeing your partner, seeing your wife, maybe your husband that does that as well. But seeing them hurt like that is just like, you have to start finding a way to change.
What's up, real ones? Welcome back to the Real Relationship Podcast, where we're bringing the real back to relationships.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asha Steele.
And I'm Devin Steele.
And we're so excited that you guys are tuning in today.
Hey, man. I gotta, hold on. Is this the button? Oh, yeah. I gotta clap it up.
Clap it up.
Because
you know why?
Listen.
Y'all know why?
Listen. We was consistent. All January.
Yes.
And when I tell you that consistency gets rewarded, like we cracked our best numbers for the month in this podcast because we was consistent. We was giving that fire. And because of y'all, man, because not only do y'all listen to this podcast, but y'all share it on social media. Y'all share it with y'all friends and family. So shout out to y'all. As you can see, we still being consistent because we back the first Wednesday in February doing the same thing. Like we said, we're going to give y'all a lot of content this year because y'all been asking for it. So just be on the lookout because we're on a roll right now.
Yes, you guys. We're so excited. It is the 1st of February. Yeah. It's the first day of Black History Month. So let's all clap it up for that. Celebrate our Black history.
Yeah, already.
And you know this is the month of love. The love month, right? And so let's just go into the announcements, okay? Because y'all know we talked about it leading up to this podcast that we were going to give y'all that fire this month, right? Yeah, we was going to bring the heat because we're all about the real love, keeping your relationship spicy, if not spicing it up, just really enjoying connecting with your partner and being attuned with your partner. And so if y'all haven't checked it out, we launched our 28 days of real love calendar tonight, you guys. Hopefully y'all checked it out. Yeah. But if not, y'all can like add in tonight's into tomorrow. But y'all supposed to be cuddling up.
Yeah. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, go to realrelationshipspodcast.com and download the 28 days of real love. Like we do this every single year. And fellas, when I tell you I'll be looking out for y'all, like I'll be making sure that y'all get taken care of.
We be looking out, y'all.
Listen, but this is strictly from my fellas. Like, I'll be making sure y'all getting taken care of.
I can't.
Listen to me. Like even on Super Bowl day, I didn't have y'all doing nothing too crazy so you can enjoy the night, watching the game. But I definitely took care of y'all. So make sure you go download that calendar because it's going to get spicy.
Yes. And it's all about being intentional with your partner, being connected with your partner every single day. We want to make sure that it's something. I know it was a couple people like, can y'all do this for March? And April, May, June, July. But no, if y'all want to take these activities and share it into the next month, go ahead and do it. But we really want to make sure that we're pouring into our partners this month and being affectionate, loving, attentive to our partner. So make sure y'all download that calendar and follow through. And make sure if y'all the appropriate things, okay, you guys, if y'all are participating with us, tag us in your stories on the days that y'all are able to post.
Everything. Not we want the inappropriate. We want all that.
No, right? We don't. Please don't. Okay.
just add us to what is it to your friends group? Your personal friends group?
Don't add it. Don't add us to none of that.
Trying to see everything. But now, like the reason why we don't do it every month is because the whole goal with the calendar for February is to create habits. Like if you've been doing an activity, if you've been being intentional for the whole month of February, that doesn't mean you stop once March comes. Yeah. Like you have to continue to be intentional. And now it's not like you're following the calendar because like when you're going through the month of February and you're following the calendar, it's kind of like, I don't even know the word for it, but it's like you're a robot in a sense because it's not spontaneous. Right. You're following a calendar. But if you go through this month of February and you are able to find that spark again in your relationship, if you start to see the importance of being intentional about doing activities, you can go into that month of March still doing activities, but coming up with it on your own. So that's the whole point of this calendar, is to create habits in your relationship that then flow over into the following month. So make sure y'all download that. The second thing we do in February is we always choose a couple to be our Valentine, to send them out to a candlelit dinner, wherever you want to go to dinner. Yes. We pay for it. We take care of it because we know how important it is to have those moments of connections. We know how important it is to still date each other when you're in a relationship or when you're in a marriage. We understand how, sometimes money can be tight with the pandemic. So y'all gonna have dinner on us. So in order to enter a chance to win a $200 dinner, because we had to put that cap at $200 because y'all might act a little bit crazy. But in order to have a chance to win, you got to do 3 things. You got to be following the Real Relationships Podcast on Instagram. You got to leave a review on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You have to screenshot that review so we make sure we ain't about to just give away $200 to somebody that's, saying something crazy. Yeah, so screenshot your review and post it to your stories and tag us so that we can see it, because that's how we're going to be picking a winner. So if you don't want to have to pay for Valentine's Day dinner, join this giveaway and y'all eat on us.
Yes. So before we get into our Keeping It Real moment, we have a message from a real one.
All right, so look, I'm going to go ahead and give a disclaimer. Like, if y'all hear me stumble over this message or any message, anytime we read a message, I know how to read, bro. But sometimes these messages be like all over the place, and I'll be trying to like read through them in a way that really makes sense. So just bear with me really quick. So it says, "Good evening. Please, if you could really help, I need some advice on something. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. It will be 4 in March, but we've been rocky the entire relationship. I told him I didn't want to go into a new year dealing with the same thing, but yet here we are again, still going through the same things. And when I try to talk about it, it's because it's so frustrating. He gets upset and says, 'Let it go. Stop talking about it. I'm not changing, nothing, etc.' Is that a sign to leave?" A lot of times I feel like people know the answers to the questions. They just want to be validated about how they feel. Because what you have, and listen, don't get me wrong, I think the new year is great. Like, we all need that one spark, that motivation that says, hey, it's time to turn over a new leaf. It's time to change. But nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, the calendar doesn't make you change your habits or your beliefs, right? It doesn't help you change your mindset. And until you're willing to change your mindset, the only thing that's going to change is the year. So if he's flat out telling you, stop bringing things up that's bothering you, that could possibly make our relationship better, I'm not changing anything, then you got to take somebody for their word. Like, if they tell you they're not changing, you can't stay in a relationship with the hopes that one day they may become the person that you envision them being. Right. Like, if you already put in 3 years, you said almost 4 years, like, sometimes we just gotta, chalk it up and move on and not try to hold on to things because we invested 3 years into it, especially if you haven't reached that level of marriage yet. Like, you could be wasting your time, but ultimately the decision's on you.
Yeah. I think we have to stop looking for a sign and just, like you said, validate the emotions that we're feeling inside. Like, if you're telling yourself, and you clearly said in the message, like, your partner y'all been together for 3 years, the entire time pretty much has been rocky. You want things to get better. You want him to change. You want to have conversations, but it's not working. And he's, like Devin said, flat out telling you, I'm not willing to put in that effort. You know inside how you feel. You know inside what you want to do. We look for a sign to say, oh, he's doing this or this happened, or let me go off of this, for you to be like, okay, now I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to leave. You already know what's best for you. You already know what you want to do. So go with that. Don't look for a sign from any outside source. Don't look for us to tell you what to do, because you have the answers. If he's not serving you or serving the relationship where it's beneficial and y'all are growing together, then you got to let it go.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because 3 years is really a long time. Like, when we put that amount of time and energy into a relationship, we want it to reach a certain level, right? Yeah. And when it doesn't reach that level, sometimes it's hard to let go. Like what I said, TD Jakes always says, you have to learn how to let go of the things that happen to you, and you have to learn to let go of the things that didn't happen for you. And if this relationship didn't happen the way that you planned it to happen, then you have to be okay with walking away and say, you know what, I'm just going to take the lessons that I learned from this. Like if somebody shows me in year 1, if they show me in 3 months that they're not willing to change and grow into being the partner I need them to be, then I'm no longer going to spend 3-4 years with that person. I'm going to be more intentional about this dating process so that I don't end up in the same position that I'm in now. And then take away the bonuses, take away the benefits and the good things from this relationship, what worked, what helped you get through those tough times, and just use that to become a better woman and a better partner for when that right person does come along and treats you the way that you should be treated and you want to be treated, and is willing to be the partner that you don't have to force to change, but they're willing to change because they want to be able to accommodate you into their life.
Yeah. So moving right along, you guys, into our keeping it real moment. Okay.
You got something for us, baby.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Okay. So some of y'all may be following us on social media, and if you are following me, you know I like to post my struggles and achievements and just moments of just being a mother and the journey of that, so that I can connect with all the other mothers out there. We can kind of share my platform as a community to
go ahead and plug your Instagram real quick, though. I think this is perfect
time. If you're not, follow me at Asha Still on Instagram. But yeah, so I use my platform as a community for other mothers to really, give words of encouragement, help out each other if we need advice on something, and so I'm at a struggle, okay? Because recently, I don't know if y'all saw Devin's video on Instagram. And if y'all haven't seen it, go to Still in the Game on Instagram. But yes, he posted a video that was hilarious about Arya sleeping in our bed. People at first was like, and I know Asha ain't out here cheating.
Stepped out on
she
Devin.
Out here doing what? But no, the video turned and it was Arya laid up underneath of me. And y'all, this has been a struggle. Okay. Yeah. I think it may be up there, if not higher than nursing and trying to wean her off of nursing. And the reason
this is past that, because you're done nursing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like it's been a struggle. I feel like that was a struggle in the sense of, just the connection and the bond that we had. And once I was able to like get over that emotional phase that I was in, to know, okay, I can get through this.
I have a quick question for you real quick.
Oh gosh. Here we go.
No. So, all right. So you was nursing for 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. So you're able to build up that emotional bond with Arya. And it was hard for you to break away from that, right?
Right.
We're going on 10 years of being together, knowing each other in May, right? So that means you was nursing me for 8 years. Was it hard for you to break away from me so that you can create space for Arya?
No.
I don't understand that. Like,
get out of here.
You nursed me for 8 years. Arya comes along for 2 years. Yes, you did.
You know
Arya comes along for 2 years, and then all of a sudden it's hard to break away from her, but you just pushed me to the side.
Y'all.
When Arya wanted,
Y'all, get this man.
That's crazy. That's how we really feel. Like, y'all get rid of us, but you can go ahead back to your point. I just wanted to know if you felt emotionally attached to me. It is the same.
It's not for me. But no. No. But anywho, back to what I was saying. So it has been a struggle because initially I really didn't want her sleeping in her room by herself, because I was just like, I want her close to me. Like, we've been co-sleeping for so long because she was nursing. And she would nurse periodically throughout the night when she was younger. And so now that we're through that phase, and it's just like, okay, now let's kind of move on to the next step, which is getting her to sleep into her own bed all the time. It's been a struggle.
Man.
And it's like, okay, we tried with nap time. So it's like she can go up there during nap time, take her little nap if she does. But it's at night. Like, she'll go to sleep and she'll be sleeping. But like midway through the night, she's like screaming and hollering up, crying, asking for mommy. She wants to come downstairs. She do not want to be in her room. And it's already a hassle trying to get her to sleep in her room to begin with, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to find the video so they can hear Like, you tell him that she be screaming? Hold on. This is Aria waking up in the middle of the night. It ain't a game.
Y'all. And she will do that until I come up there. But that's not even the hard part. The hardest part is I literally laid in her room with her for an hour and a half trying to get her to go to sleep the other night by herself so that I can come downstairs and sleep in my bed peacefully with my husband. Mm-hmm. And then she ended up back downstairs in the middle of the night. So I need y'all to tell me. I mean, I know we're a little bit behind the ball with her sleeping in her bed, and I don't want to hear from none of y'all. We ain't
behind the ball. I've been seeing people saying my baby 5 years old and they still sleeping in the bed.
I know there are people out there. So all the people out there who was like, oh, my baby was sleeping in the bed since they came out the womb.
Judge your mother.
I don't need that advice, okay? We know we passed that phase. I need for y'all to tell me what we need to do now to make her comfortable and sleep in her room the entire night through, because I can't do it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to make her a sibling. It's like impossible. You know what I mean? Like,
it's other places we can do it.
See, no, because I don't want to tell.
That's what the calendar is about.
I don't want to tell my son or daughter, hey, I made you in the garage, like by the toolbox. Like, I don't want to do that.
I mean, we shouldn't really tell them where we made them. Just know that they were conceived out of love.
Fair point.
That's it.
Fair point. Yeah, but it's tough. But we'll find a way to get through it. Like, I don't mind. I know we're supposed to cuddle tonight on the calendar.
And we going to cuddle.
No, I don't know how that's going to be, because Aria likes to lay right in the middle between us. And then in the middle of the night, she'll be kicking you in the face. She'll start laying sideways. Like, it gets really crazy. So if y'all do have the tips, let us know, because we will most definitely kick her on out of our room, because I need to get a good night's sleep. But yeah, moving on to our topic for today. Mm-hmm. Man, so boy, did I get a lot of heat over this one right here.
Yes, you did.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there was a post on social media that said, it's 2022. I'm not fighting for my marriage. Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm like, man, why do a lot of people say that? Like, I hear a lot of people say, I'm not fighting for no relationship. I'm not fighting for a marriage. And I'm like, why not? Why not fight for your relationship? Why not fight for your marriage? Mm-hmm. So me being who I am, I decided to put my 2 cents on the post. And I'm going to read it to y'all real quick. And then we're going to dive into it a little bit more and then talk about what it really means to fight for your marriage. It says, because y'all know I always keep it real. It says, I'm going to keep it real since nobody else wants to. I fight almost every day for my marriage. Most times it's not even with my wife, but with myself. Every day I fight to stay spiritually grounded in my marriage, because sometimes my flesh, my ego, tries to get the best of me. Trying to become one and build a life with someone takes a lot of effort, and there aren't any shortcuts. Now, this comment got over 13,000 likes, almost 600 comments. A lot of the comments were good. People are agreeing with me. People applauding my transparency and my honesty. But there were some of you people, some of the guys that were trying to please the women, and mainly women, saying, what? Who wants to fight for their marriage? I feel sorry for you. It sounds terrible that you have to fight for your marriage every single day. You don't really love your wife. I don't think that you actually think she's attractive. And I replied to that one like, whoa, have you seen my wife before? Like, I would drink her bathwater. And she was like, oh, no, I thought you was the other guy that cheated on his wife. And I'm like, no.
Let's not go there.
I'm not going to go there.
No.
But I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. But a lot of women was like, you must hate your marriage. Your wife must be ashamed that you're coming on here talking about you have to fight not to cheat on her every day. So I went back to my thing and I'm like, fight not to cheat on her every day. I'm like, where did I say that at? I said, every day I fight to stay spiritually grounded in my marriage, because sometimes my flesh and my ego tries to get the best of me. So I'm like, okay,
What does that mean?
So I'm like, okay, are they saying because I said I fight my flesh? Is that what y'all saying means cheating? But so let me just break it down in case y'all listening right now, like y'all specific people who wrote that on the comment. When I say that I have to stay spiritually grounded, it's me understanding that I am a flawed human being and that I can't do everything on my own, that I must rely on the Creator. I must rely on God to help strengthen me, right? So I'm not falling for the temptations that are out here. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking about temptations, I'm not just talking about other women. I'm talking about things, period. So let me give you an example. Y'all know we've been through a lot. I've been through a whole lot of stuff in a short amount of time, from all the injuries I dealt with, Leah battling cancer, retiring from the NFL, me and my wife just having a lot of discourse in our marriage because everything we've been through and not really working through it, that sometimes it feels like the weight of the world is on my shoulders, right? And because I've been through so much, sometimes I have the urge to just give up. In a sense, like fall back, like why continue to fight if life's going to continue to knock me down? Like why continue to get up if life is going to continue to knock me back down? Mm-hmm. That is my flesh talking to me. That is my flesh telling me that I'm not strong enough to continue to fight. So I have to be spiritually grounded and understand that I can do all things through God. Mm-hmm. So I have to fight my flesh to get up every single day and fight for my family, fight for my marriage. If I've been working extremely hard in school and this podcast and speaking, and I wake up in the morning and I just want to continue to hit the snooze button and not get out of bed and continue to chase my dreams, I have to fight that, right? That's me fighting for my marriage, because as a provider, I got to get up and make things happen. So I have to fight for that. In the sense of fighting my ego, I'm a competitor. I like to win. I'm still trying to learn how to go into a conversation with my wife where we have a disagreement, not to come out victorious, but come out understanding. Where there's no loser, there's no winner, there's just understanding. That we are both trying to use that conversation to build and grow and get a deeper understanding of one another. And that's a constant battle every single day. And I call it a fight because the moment I put my guard down is the moment that I think that we're so strong within our marriage that nothing can penetrate it. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. So when I say that I'm fighting for my marriage, it's not like I'm fighting tooth and nail, like I'm arguing with you every single day. It's I'm fighting with myself to continue to strive to be the best man I can possibly be against all the obstacles that are out there that try to block you from reaching your dream and your true potential, whether it's in your career or whether it's in your role in your family.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, like, we have to be realistic with relationships, mm-hmm. right? We go into, or at least with the individuals who did say something negative about your comment, is like, when you're in a relationship, regardless of who you've been with, how long y'all been together, there's always going to be something that arises in that relationship. Man. No one has the perfect ideal relationship. As we look on social media, especially nowadays, you see so many relationships and marriages just falling apart. Right. People getting divorced left and right, people breaking up. And so it's just like a lot of people have been affected by so many things, so many outside sources, so many things within their home, so many things internally. Mm-hmm. That surface and cause you to have dysfunction, have disagreements, have situations in your relationship, right? And so it is a constant fight. It could, like you said, oh, you're fighting constantly, but let's be realistic. We're not going to get along every moment or every second of every day. There's times where we don't agree with things. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, we have to fight, like you said, we have to fight to understand that we are a team. Right. I'm not in competition with him. I'm not battling, and we're not on the battlefield trying to win a war against each other. Right. No, we're in this together. So there is a fight that you have to go through within a relationship, understanding that I'm his wife And like you said, sometimes I could be a little hot-headed and I want to know what I'm saying. This is how I feel, and you're going to hear me. And I speak very passionately when I'm upset.
Right.
And it's like you see yourself being combative. You see the argument escalating to something that it doesn't have to. That's a fight.
Yeah.
So let's be honest and real with ourselves. We're constantly fighting something. I think, like you were saying, people automatically go to cheating. And I think that's a lot of trauma that a lot of people have suffered from, that you automatically think, okay, if I'm having a fight or if I'm having to, fight for my relationship or fight for my marriage, they're automatically thinking someone's stepping out on me. And I'm not dealing with that. I'm not fighting for that. Someone doing this, someone's running the streets. The streets can have them.
Right.
So I think those individuals are looking from it from that perspective, which I feel is completely understandable. Right? We got to separate things, because to say, oh, I'm not going to fight for someone to constantly step out on me. I'm not going to constantly fight for someone who's doing something disrespectful towards me in our relationship to that magnitude. No. Right. But you have to understand what the fight is, or what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. And I think that people, like, I think a lot of times we attach meanings to words so that when we see a certain word, it may be a trigger for us. But what people have to understand is that Webster's defines fight as a determined effort, like putting forth a determined effort. So in that sense, yes, you do have to fight. You have to put forth a determined effort every single day to be the best person that you can be, to be the best husband or wife that you can be, to be the best dad or mom that you can be. Because one thing that they always taught us in sports, you're either getting better or you're getting worse, but you never remain the same. And if you're not putting in the effort in order to get better, then you're getting worse, because things are always changing. Your partner's always evolving. And if you're not putting forth the effort to actually evolve with them, then without you even noticing sometimes, that's when that disconnect grows within your relationship. So yeah, I put forth an effort. I'm not afraid to admit that I fight for my relationship or my marriage every single day, because I get tired of this picture being painted that marriage is supposed to be easy, that you spend all this time planning for the wedding for this one day, right? This is what happens in movies all the time. We see people go through the wedding planning phase, they end up getting married, and then towards the end of the fairy tale, they say, and they lived happily ever after. But they never explain what the heck was happily ever after. How did they get to happily ever after? Was they just always happy? Did they have any discourse within their marriage? They never talk about that. So anytime that I see something on social media where people are trying to paint this light that marriage is always supposed to be easy, that's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to put in effort, it's supposed to be effortless. It's like, no, I want to speak up and say, listen, I'm going on 6 years of marriage and it's not easy, right? Because the foundation wasn't laid for me. I didn't see this growing up. So anytime you're trying to trailblaze in your own family and do something for the first time, it's going to be hard. Yeah. You're going to make mistakes. But like Asha talked about, the key is to have more external things to fight than internal. Like, you don't want to be the cause of all the issues in your relationship. You want to do what you need to do in order to be a team so that y'all can come together, band together to fight all the things that are outside your house that are trying to destroy you.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I feel like it all boils down to having a conversation, having intentional conversations with your partner, right? And so for those individuals that say, oh, I'm not fighting anymore, how intentional are you being in your relationship to make sure that you're getting to a certain level to say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this. Because when we sit up here and we think, like I was saying before, we'll have a conversation and we'll talk about stuff that's very surface level in our relationship. We're not really digging deep down to the core of the issue or trying to really resolve anything that's causing us to feel like we're being strained in our relationship, like there's tension in our relationship. Like when you say we're fighting, if there's a disagreement, there's an argument. Okay, so are we going to sit in this argument and just be mad at each other? Are we going to actually resolve this argument? Are we going to actually resolve this problem or this issue? Because if not, it's going to keep arising. Right. And that's when the mindset and the attitude of, I don't want to fight for this anymore. I don't want to do this, because we fighting for the same thing over and over again because we're not fixing it. Yeah. Right. And it gets very tiresome. So how intentional are you being within that fight to say, you know what, I'm ready to give up? Well, what did you put in? What effort did you put in that fight? What resources did you use within that fight for you to say, okay, I'm completely ready to check out? And I know it's easier said than done because it takes two people, right? Mm-hmm. You can feel like you're exhausting all of your energy to this relationship and to this person. You're like, oh, well, I am or I have, and they're not. But that's when you have to have an understanding, have those conversations, be intentional.
Yeah. And I just thought about something as you were talking. Like the first point I want to make, and I hope I don't forget my second, because you know where my mind be going, is that, like we said in our love tab that we send out, like, the best marriages are not ones that never argue, is the ones that know how to argue, right? Like, you're not constantly putting your partner down. Mm-hmm. You're not trying to win the argument so much that you just throwing everything at them that you can possibly throw at them to win the battle, and then they end up getting hurt because you were saying some crazy stuff to end up winning the argument. Mm-hmm. But another thing that I thought about when you was talking is, I think that a lot of people get so drained and they don't want to fight for their marriage because they're constantly fighting. Mm-hmm. They're not replenishing themselves. Yeah. There are not enough positive moments in their relationship in order to let them breathe. You know how boxers are not, trust me, when we talk about fight, we're not talking about actually being in the boxing ring with your partner, but just to give you an analogy, like, those boxers go for rounds, but there's a point where they have to stop. And they have to regain their energy. Mm-hmm. They have to regain their focus. A lot of couples are fighting so much that they're not even having positive interactions with each other to make them see, oh, this is why I'm with this person. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of times on this podcast, we talk to y'all about the 5-to-1 ratio, where you have to have 5 positive interactions for every negative interaction in order to feel like you have a good relationship. And for a lot of people, that ratio is reversed, right? Mm-hmm. They're having 1 positive interaction, but then they're having 5 negative ones, and they're wondering why they lack satisfaction in their relationship. Is because you're constantly fighting every single day, not with outside sources or external things, but within your own relationship. And it does get tired, like you said, because you're not resolving it. So you're fighting about the same thing over and over and over again. And we was at that point before in our marriage.
Yeah. And I think it's important to stress, like you just said, like a disclaimer, that we're talking about emotionally fighting, right? Mm-hmm. Not physically fighting. Because if you're at that point in your relationship, it's time to go. Right. There's no need for us to even be having a conversation, because there needs to be some outside help for that individual who's taking it to that extent. But when we're talking about emotionally fighting, we're talking about when we're in those moments where I want to have a certain conversation with you. I want for you to understand exactly how I feel, but maybe you're turning away than turning towards me, right? You're not wanting to hear what I have to say. You're just wanting to say what you feel like needs to be said. Right. We're talking about in those moments of fighting to say, you know what, I don't want to just walk away from this situation. I don't want to just run out the door. I want to turn my back on you. I want to listen to what you have to say. I want to hear what you're going through. I want to hear your experiences. I want you to share how you feel so I can share how I feel, and we can have a better understanding of each other. Right. Because a lot of times in those moments when we are doing that, like I said, it's like, okay, I need to say what I need to say. I need to let you know how I feel. I need to let you know what's going on with me. What you got to say is irrelevant because I'm just talking about me right now. Right. But when we're able to actually have that conversation to say, you know what, I want to hear how you're feeling. How is it affecting you? And I want to have a clear understanding. Then you're opening those gates to say, you know what, this person can be open and bare themselves to me, and we can have a conversation. Like, they're hearing me. They're validating me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The art of validation, it helps so much. And I think that's why I said using those resources and tools to say, you know what, let me do this, because it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a struggle.
Like I said, we transparent. It was a struggle for us. Like, there was a lot of a time in our marriage where, like, Asha would bring things up to me about what I was doing. And I just felt like attacked. Because like we talked about before, like whenever you're having a disagreement, it's best to bring up one disagreement at a time, like one problem, and not really flood your partner.
I was flooding,
bro.
It was the ocean, just
bro. I was in there. But yeah, like I just felt flooded. I felt like she would hit me with the issue that happened that day, then last week, then 5 years ago, then when we first met, and I'm just like, yo, like what are we really doing here? And I would just stonewall. I would shut down and not say anything, like just completely ignore her because I was tired of hearing it. And it was the only way that I knew how to escape is just to escape mentally from it. Not understanding how much it was hurting her that I was shutting down. Like she was flooding me with stuff. She was very emotional, but I never looked at why she was so emotional, right? And there were times where she would just come to me crying because she didn't feel like she was being heard. She felt like I was being dismissive, and like seeing your partner, seeing your wife, maybe your husband that does that as well. But seeing them hurt like that is just like, you have to start finding a way to change. We both had to start finding a way to change. Maybe her delivery could be better. Maybe I can try to search for the emotions that she's trying to convey to me in the argument instead of focusing on the tone or focusing on the barrage of different problems that she's bringing up to me. Just sit down and be like, listen, let's go over one thing at a time. Like, I understand these things are bothering you because I can tell from the passion you're speaking with, but let's take it one step at a time and really try to iron this thing out. Because if we really care about each other, if we really in this for the long haul, then we got to resolve these issues. Because until you resolve those issues, they're going to continue to be brought up in the future.
Yeah. I think that we have to have conversations, and I want to say conversations where we're having certain love expectations, right?
Oh,
I'm not going to say
that's a new word. Whoa. Do we need to trademark this? Hold on. I need you to say that again. Hold on.
Wait a
minute. We not going to act like you did not just say that.
I can't.
What did you call it?
Okay, so I feel like we need to have conversations, but we're setting certain love expectations. And what I mean by that...
Hold on. Let me clap it up for that.
Y'all, he just want to use all these gadgets.
I do, but Jesus, you just dropped the bomb on us. You lucky I ain't got one of Clue's bombs.
I can't.
Go ahead and explain love expectation.
Okay,
no, seriously, we might need to trademark that.
No, seriously, we might. But... to be realistic, because I feel like a lot of times we put an emphasis on having certain expectations, right? And a lot of times you feel like, well, it makes you feel defensive, right? When you're with your partner and it's like, I have this expectation, I want this done, you're not meeting these needs, you're not doing this, and you feel like you may feel flooded. You may feel like, wow, like you're coming at me with a lot, right? Yeah. When we do things out of love and with love to say, I'm with you, but I have this love expectation where I want you to meet this. I want you to fill up this love tank. I want to pour into you just as much as you're pouring into me. And how can we do that? So instead of it making it the expectation where it's just like daunting and it's like, I really have to do this like this. And if it's not, then what's the consequences of me not meeting that? It's like, I want to make my partner happy. I want to make my partner feel love. I want to make sure that I'm intentional with everything that I do. So we're having that conversation. This is what I want from my partner. This is what I want for you. This is what I want for our future. Like, let's speak into love. Let's just make sure that we're pouring all of that into our partner and not coming from a place of just anger and tension and frustration. Although we may feel like that, allow for the love to pour in to what we're talking about. Allow for the love to pour into our relationship so that they can understand where we're coming from, right?
Yeah.
Because when I'm having a conversation, like you said, when we're having a conversation and Devin's able to, say something to me, but I know that he's coming from a place where it's not ill intentions. He truly, which I already know, he truly loves me. But it's like when we're able to set the tone of that conversation to say, you know what, I love you. I want for you not to feel like I'm attacking you. I don't want you to feel like I don't love you or I feel any type of way about you. I dislike you or I'm just causing problems or I'm trying to find problems with you. But I really need for you to understand how much I want for us to work. Right now on this level, we're not working at the magnitude that we could be working at. We're not working at our full potential in this relationship. And so I want to express through love and through my words to you how I truly want us to get to that level, because I need that. That's what I want for us. Like when we're speaking those words of encouragement into our relationship, we're speaking with certain tones and just the wordage, the verbiage and all of that, it matters. It changes a lot. So when you're using certain words and you're using a certain tone talking to your partner and just being intentional when you're talking to them and letting them know how you truly feel, it can shift a lot. So I feel like we have to have those love expectation conversations where we're actually being intentional with our partner and letting them know, I want this out of love, not just for myself, not just for my ego, but for us.
Yeah, that sounds like a book. Sounds like a movie. It sounds like a course. It sounds like a lot of different things. It sounds like they're not getting this episode Wednesday until I file this trademark, because I don't want one of y'all to sit up here and try to steal this. But best believe if you're listening to this, I already reached out to our lawyer and I'm getting it trademarked. Do not try to take this from me.
I can't.
Or from us. But no, I think you brought up a lot of great points, because I think that women love nothing more but to feel heard and validated. Mm-hmm. And men love nothing more than to not feel attacked and flooded. So if we can find a way to come together to both give each other what we need, that is the key to a relationship. It's not about, let me see how much I can get from this person. Let me try to flood this person, but still try to get them to hear what I'm saying. Right. Or let me whatever I was about to say, y'all get it, the opposite of what I just said. Mm-hmm. But no, how can I not flood this person so that I can create the space for them to hear me and validate me?
Right.
How can I find a way to not shut down and stop doing the things or try to grow in order to be the person that doesn't pull this out of my partner? Right? You don't want to be the person that pulls out the worst in your partner.
Yeah, you don't.
You want to be the person that pours the best out of them. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be the person that's just shining the sun on that flower all damn day, every day, drying it out like the flowers out in our garden right now. I got to throw them out tomorrow, by the way. Probably after we get done this podcast. But I want to be the person that's pouring into them. We can both water ourselves and grow. Like we two flower. It's crazy. And this is mad random. But I was talking in one of my groups in class and they was teaching me about some trees, right? It'd be a lot of interesting conversations. But one of my classmates was telling me how like there's certain trees out there that can, if they're next to each other, they can send water and nutrients through the root system to the other tree to help keep it alive and stuff like that. And I was like, that's wild. It's crazy. I don't know why I need to know that, but it's definitely dope that they do that. But it's like the same thing in the relationships. Our roots got to be at the same level so that we can share that water. We got to share that nutrient with each other instead of trying to take everything that we can so that we're filled up, we're nourished, that we're alive, but we're both sharing it so that we can both be alive and survive. Because marriage is crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Like really trying to become one with somebody, that's hard. Because we're taught so long to go after our dreams, our aspirations as individuals. That's what's poured into you, right? So that when you come together with somebody else, we're not taught how to compromise. Like I can't just go after everything I want, because now it's not just about me. Anytime I make a decision, I got to think about the consequences and who those decisions affect, which is my family, my wife and my kids. And if you're not taught that, marriage is a struggle, but it's not impossible, because we came from similar backgrounds. We're going on 6 years, like Asha said, like every day is not sunny and beautiful. Every day is not easy, but we made a commitment to death do us part and to fight through those tough times together. Yeah. Like we knew that. I think a lot of people are oblivious. Like I remember during my vows to you, I was like, that our history shows that we will go through tough times.
Yeah.
So that is a picture into what our future will also be like. There will be tough roads ahead, but our past also showed us that we're strong enough to come together and overcome those challenges. So when I came into the marriage, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I knew I didn't see a marriage growing up. I knew I didn't really know exactly what it was to be a husband, which is crazy to get married and you don't even know what it takes to be a husband.
Yeah.
But I knew that there were going to be challenges. I knew that Asha wasn't taught how to be a wife. She didn't see that growing up. So I knew that there was going to be things that she had to grow into. And I was telling myself that that this woman right here is somebody I'm willing to go through all of that with and still remain by her side. Mm-hmm. Like, I truly don't think that marriage is finding that perfect partner that is everything that you want them to be. Right? But you see things in them that you're just like, this person, I love this person. They respect me. They honor me. They're willing to compromise with me. Like, their feelings are not fickle. And I'm willing to go through life with this person. I think that's what marriage is all about. Too many times we expect people to be perfect. We're not perfect ourselves. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's true. I think the moral of the story, you guys, is for us to stop trying to find individuals that we're not going to fight with, right? So finding someone that you're going to fight for.
Yes, Lord. I knew you were going to say that.
It's always going to be a fight no matter what. So you want to make sure that you're being intentional with finding that partner that's worth fighting for. And that you're not only fighting for them, but they're fighting for you as well, because it's inevitable.
And listen to me. I'm going to redefine fight for y'all again so you understand. It is a determined effort. Put forth that effort for your relationship, for your marriage, every single day. I don't care what people out here saying that you ain't supposed to fight for this, you ain't supposed to be able to fight for that. Have you ever fought for anything? Show me something that you have accomplished that tells me I should listen to you. Because if you haven't, then you can't tell me I'm not supposed to fight for anything. Like, the elders that I look up to that haven't just been married for a long time, but they've had good marriages, all talked about fighting for it, about how it's not easy. Like, nothing in life is easy. You have to, making it to the NFL was a fight. I had to put forth an effort, right? Leah's battle with it was a fight. Getting to where we're at now in our marriage, it was a fight. Becoming the best parents we can possibly be is a fight. Because sometimes them kids, they will test you now, right? So you have to continue to grow and evolve, and it takes determined effort. And anybody that tells you anything different, don't ever go back to them for advice ever again. So those are my thoughts. Fight.
Yes. Well, you guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, you guys, keep it real.
Yes, sir. Go fight.